All right, so we've taken a look at Super Vegeta. Now it's time to take a look at Gogeta Blue, aka the Fusing Blue Goku and Vegeta. I'm gonna try and go through this a little bit quicker because the other one took so long. But these characters are so, it's just like, they're so intricate now. It's actually ridiculous how much they have, how many mechanics there are now. Able to fuse mid-battle into Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Gogeta. The Legends limited tag character Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, Vegeta join the fight. All right, so this is the pre-fusing highlights. Combo stopping power when in a jam. If your health is 50% or below after being hit by an enemy's arts attack, greatly reduce their ki and stop their combo in its tracks. Okay, so it sounds kind of similar to the other character. Instantaneous explosive power. When the unique gauge is full, use a strike, blast, or special move arts to get a temporary 50% buff to inflicted damage. Okay. Get ready to deal some serious damage with the special move arts. And then fusion, keep tag switching between Goku and Vegeta to fill up the synchro gauge, and then fuse. On fusing into Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Gogeta, you'll restore health by 100% and gain both powerful offensive and defensive abilities, which again is also very similar to Vegeta. So I'm kind of curious to see if it's like kind of similar, kind of the same thing. All right, so after fusing into Gogeta, new ability Assault Chain. Chain a strike arts after a strike or blast arts to activate the new ability Assault Chain. Assault Chain nullifies annoying abilities. They admit it! They admit it's annoying! Assault Chain nullifies annoying abilities like special cover changes and counters, giving you the chance to go on the attack. They admit that it's annoying. All right. Destroy tons of enemy cards. When entering the battlefield, you'll destroy all of your enemy's blast cards. Sounds balanced. Plus, using the main ability will destroy all of their cards. Okay. It'll be your turn to attack, and your opponent won't be able to do anything about it. Yeah, that sounds about right. The unique gauge gets even stronger. Using a strike, blast, or special move arts card will now also nullify unfavorable element factors. This will help you dish out damage even to opponents with elements that would normally give you some trouble. So again, it sounds very similar to Vegeta. Don't miss your chance to experience the fusion between the most powerful rivals of them all with Legends Limited, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, and Vegeta. They are yellow, and the way that the Vegeta character worked is they stayed the same element the entire time. They didn't reverse their element. They didn't change element. They were just blue. So I'm going to be curious to see if this character is just going to remain yellow the whole time. This is actually the first time we've ever had a part 1 headlining yellow character for an anniversary, by the way. Tags, we have Saiyan, Sun Family, God Ki, Vegeta Clan, Fusion Warrior, like so many tags, ridiculous. And then, of course, they're on movies, which is another team they can be used on. Let's see if they do the same thing here. They do. Wow. Okay, so like I mentioned in the Vegeta breakdown, they actually have an additional buff at 14 stars, which is something we haven't really seen since the first anniversary with Super Vegeta. They're actually going to pick up 10% to God Ki health as their 14-star Z ability, and I think the Vegeta character picks up 10% to Majin Buu Saga health, so that actually does make a big difference. But their Z ability is going to be Fusion Warrior, Saiyan, or movies, base strike attack and defense, and then 18% to God Ki blast defense. So again, they don't mention the battle style here, but based off of the stats they're buffing, it sounds like they're going to be another melee character, which makes sense. Strike, Goku strike arts will have armor, blast armor, and then while not in effect on strike attacks in general, Goku has a strike arts card that recovers own health. So this, by the way, this character looks like he's starting out as Goku, whereas the Vegeta is going to start out as Vegeta. Blast, so while it's not an effect on blast attacks in general, Goku has a blast arts card that recovers own ki. So it's, again, similar to the other character. So that's what that is. Blue card. Charge, looks like this is a melee blue card. Charge your own switch gauge by 100% and shorten your allies' sub counts. This special move arts makes it super easy to tag switch to Vegeta or swap out with a character on standby depending on how the battle is going. Massive impact damage, 30% special move damage for 3 counts. Charge zone switch gauge by 100%. That's crazy. Charge switch gauge by 100%. So the Vegeta character does that on their green card. So it sounds like this character can do it on their blue card. Shortens ally sub count by 3, and then blast armor. Yeah, pretty good. Green card, this looks like it is going to be a stop time, I think. Able to destroy all of your enemy's special arts cards, stores your own health and ki and more. You're sure to get a lot of use out of Goku's special arts. Although it only activates once, you can also charge your switch gauge by 80%, making it easier to do attacks. Wow, so they're getting 100% switch gauge from the blue card, and then 80% switch gauge from this. Okay. Randomly draws 1 new card, 15% health, which activates twice, 50 ki, 20% damage for 15 counts, charge zone switch gauge by 60%. and shortens sub count by 3 to self for 15 counts, and destroys all of your enemies' green cards, which is pretty good. This is a very good green. I like this a lot. Because what this is going to do a lot of times is if you weave this into your combo, it'll allow you a lot of times just to go immediately into Vegeta, to switch into Vegeta, tag into Vegeta. Twice each, restore your vanishing gauge by 50% and fully and nullify enemy special cover changes. So it goes into Vegeta, draws a card, 50 key, restores on vanishing gauge by 50%, activates twice, and then they also gain cover null for 5 counts and cancel out own attribute downgrade. So the cover null is the same exact thing that the Vegito character has, so it's pretty easy to remember. It's a very good effect though, it is for sure. And then if you do this, you can like chain in like a green card here and like use like one card, and you're going to be able to go back into Vegeta, or sorry, go back into Goku and then gain this again. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. All right, so unique ability 1. When entering the battlefield, restore key and get a one-time special arts card draw. Plus, you'll destroy 2 of your enemy's blast arts cards, so you're free to go on the offensive without worrying about getting hit with a blast arts. Not only that, if your health is at 50% or below after being hit with an arts attack, you'll nullify unfavorable element factors for damage received, reduce the enemy's key by 70, and shorten your allies' subcounts by 10. All of which will make it easier for you to hang in there and keep on fighting. Yeah, this sounds good. Restores own, applies falling effects self when battle starts, so this is going to carry over again to the Gogeta side. 100% to damage inflicted, 40% to strike damage inflicted. Okay, so he's getting 140% strike damage right away there. 70% reduced damage received, and then card draw speed. Falling effects occur when this character enters the battlefield, draws a green card next, restores key by 30, 70% damage. Wow, so he's actually going to... So he immediately has 210% damage for strike damage. Wow. Okay. 210% strike damage right away. Which is going to carry over, by the way, to Gogeta. Randomly destroys 2 of your enemy's blast arts cards. That's good. So Super 17, right? So you enter the battlefield and you destroy 2 of Super 17's blasts, I guess. But the problem with this character is he's yellow, so I don't know how many times you're going to be switching in against Super 17 with a yellow unit, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. The following effects occur if owner remaining health is 50% or below when hit by an enemy's arts attack while this character is in the battlefield. Nullifies own unfavorable element factors for damage sustained for 15 counts. That's a long time. And then shortens allies sub count by 10. Cancels allies attribute downgrades in normal conditions, and then reduce enemy key by 70. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's like Vegeta and Trunks a little bit, but obviously it's a better version of that. And then reduces impact damage received by 15% for 5 counts when this character uses an arts. Okay, interesting. I mean, that's mostly, I would assume, going to be used if you get like cover changed against, and then the enemy chains in like a blue card. Almost every single attack is impact damage. It's like the most common one by far. So this actually can be pretty good. That's 15% is not insignificant when you already have 70%. So, all right, unique ability number 2. Goku has a special cover change against strike arts, and if you switch to standby while your health is 50% or below, you'll restore health and charge your synchro gauge by 50%. So if you get beat up, I guess, a lot, you're going to be able to get a much easier fusion. So go ahead and cover change without worrying about damage. Additionally, the character has a unique gauge that charges when you use strike, blast, or special move arts, and when the unique gauge is full, the synchro gauge will charge by 25%. So it sounds like a very similar type of unique gauge to, like, you know, Ultra Super Gogeta, Blue Beast, stuff like that. Use tag switches and the unique gauge to charge up the synchro gauge, then it's time to fuse. Slightly charges on your own synchro gauge every time this character uses their switch ability. Fuse into Gogeta with 100% health by tapping the synchro gauge when full. So once again, the same exact thing as Vegito, you get 100% to your health full heal from fusing into the Gogeta or Vegito character. Cover change against strikes, and you can chain that in with a blue card. Charges on unique gauge every time this character uses a strike or a strike blast or special move arts card while this character in the battlefield. So it just says charges. So I don't think it's going to take that long to get it to be filled up. Applies the following effects itself once unique gauge is full. Randomly draws 1 new card when you have 3 or fewer cards. Restores key by 30. And then charges synchro gauge by 25%. Okay, so it sounds like you can reset the unique gauge, but the synchro gauge charge from the unique gauge filling up only activates 1 time. Resets own unique gauge to 0 and applies the following effects itself if this character uses a strike, blast, or special move arts when the unique gauge is full. 50% to damage inflicted for 2 counts, and then increases Dragon Balls by 1. So it's like the next attack you're going to do is going to be a lot stronger when you have a full unique gauge. And then getting a Dragon Ball for free is pretty interesting too. Okay, so the following effects occur if own health is 50% or below when this character is switched to standby. Restores own health by 30%. 30%? That's a lot. 30? Okay. Activation count is shared between Goku and Vegeta. Charges Synchro Gauge by 50%, which activates once, of course. And then 20% to damage inflicted by allies for 20 counts. So he's actually supporting the team. And then reducing enemy Dragon Balls by 1, so they can't just immediately rush. All right, so now let's move on to Vegeta. I'm assuming Vegeta's going to have a lot of the same mechanics here, but we'll see what's different. Vegeta has strike on a blast armor on a strike card, normal blast card. Vegeta's blue card has the same exact features as Goku. Okay, so this is, again, I think this is a very, very good blue card, so nothing really to complain about from this. Vegeta's green card is also the same as Goku, which this is insane to me. Like, this is crazy. It's like a better version of the Gamma's green card or something. All right, and then tag switch ability. Just like Goku's, you can make use of Vegeta's switch ability to restore your vanishing gauge, nullify enemy special cover changes, and then go in for the attack. Looks like it is the same as Goku's. Vanishing gauge by 50%, cover null, cancel attribute downgrades. Yeah, it's the same thing as Goku's, so it's easy to remember. Unique ability 1. Vegeta's unique ability is basically the same as Goku's, but you'll get an uncancelable 70% boost to ki recovery. So it's the same thing as the Vegeta character. Because if you guys realize, I don't think Goku had any sort of like cost reduction or ki recovery at all here. Yeah. There's no like base ki recovery or arts card cost reduction here anywhere. So they want you to switch into the Vegeta side, and then Vegeta will give you the permanent uncancelable ki recovery stuff. He's getting 40% blast damage permanently as well. 70% ki recovery, minus 10 to special move arts cost, and then minus 5 to arts. This to me is a pretty big advantage actually that this character has over the Vegeta character. Because Vegeta doesn't really have reliable cost reduction. Vegeta has cost reduction, but it's tied to allies getting hit by arts cards, which is a lot more of a conditional and situational mechanic than, you know, just tagging into Vegeta, and then from that point forward, you just have permanent minus 5 to all arts costs. This is pretty strong. This combined with ki recovery is going to make this character, I think, a bit more fluid and easy to use with the ki recovery than the Vegeta unit. Following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield, draws a special arts card next, activates once. So guaranteed green card draw, which means you're... So basically what that means is you're going to tag into Vegeta with Goku. You're going to be able to get cover null from that. You're going to draw a green card guaranteed. The green card is going to give you 60% to your next tag switch. And then you're immediately going to be able to go back into Goku and then like charge your synchro gauge up. So it sounds like it's a very seamless thing to get the synchro gauge filled up like that. Plus, all at the same time, you're going to be filling up the unique gauge, which also fills the synchro gauge. So, okay. Restores own ki by 30, and then randomly destroys 2 of your enemy's blast cards, so the same effect as Goku. Following effects on remaining health is the same thing, right? Yeah, same thing as Goku. And this is also the same thing as Goku. Okay, so pretty much the same thing as Goku, except he's just going to gain some additional permanent effects here, which should carry over to the Gogeta side. Unique ability 2, each effect is the same as Goku's, so you can use them in the same way. So this is a thing that's different, I guess, to the Vegeta character. So the Vegeta character, Vegeta, I believe, has a cover change against blasts, and Goku's a cover change against strikes. So they have a cover change against both different types of attacks. Whereas with this Gogeta character, it sounds like both Goku and Vegeta have a cover change against only strikes. So no blast cover changes here. Charge, yes, we don't need to go through all this because it is literally the exact same as Goku's. So, I mean, it's fine. I think more tag characters having like the same exact mechanics between the two characters kind of makes sense, just so it's easier to remember them. Especially when you have fusing characters now too. All right, so let's take a look at Gogeta Blue here. So Gogeta Blue has a Blast Armor Strike card, normal blast card. Blue card, nullify enemy blast arts when charging forward. Huh. Nullify enemy blast arts. Plus, reduce your enemy's sustained damage cut effects and nullify their endurance effects. This is the perfect way to go in for the finishing blow. Deals massive impact damage, 50% special, 50%, and then minus 30% to enemy sustained damage cut effects. That's you know how much damage is it gonna do? These two effects together, that's crazy. Okay. Nullifies endurance, shortens ally subcount by 3, and then nullifies blast arts when charging forward. So this is a step above blast armor, The reason why this is even better, by the way, too, is not only is this not going to allow you to take damage from blast cards, this is going to this is going to bypass armor break cards, because it's not blast armor technically, it's just nullification. So if you got this annoying Ultra Gohan on the opponent's team, you don't really have to worry about the armor break cards interrupting your blue card, because you don't have to worry. This is the anti blast card, kind of. So we've gone full circle with this one. I mean, we've had characters that have had this before, but it's only been on Ultimate. So, all right, let's see. All right, so the green card, charge the unique gauge by 40% and recover both health and ki on hit. Oh, sorry, both health and ki. On hit, you'll draw an arts card and inflict all enemies with sub counts. So with the enemy in your sights, you can follow up with your next attack and take them down. Applies following effects: self-pawn activation, restores unhealth by 15% and ki by 50, 20% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts, charges on unique gauge by 40%. Following effects occur on hit: randomly draws one new card, and then inflicts all enemies with 3 sub counts. So this doesn't have cover null on it, but the inflicting all enemies with sub counts kind of fills in for the cover null mechanic. If the enemies can't switch in, cover null doesn't matter, right? So obviously comboable. So it looks like this is a charging forward green card, which is the same thing that Vegeta has too. Vegeta also has a charging forward green card, melee green card. All right, main ability: charge unique gauge by 100% and draw a special move arts card. You'll also destroy all of your enemies' cards and restore your vanishing gauge by 100%. So this works perfectly as both an offensive and a defensive move. Nice. I do like main abilities that give you your vanish back. Draw a special move arts card next. Restores on health by 20% and ki by 50. Charge own unique gauge by 100%. Charge vanishing gauge by 100% and destroys all of your enemies' cards. Yeah, I think the combination of giving yourself your full vanishing gauge and then also killing your entire enemy's hand is very strong, because you have a full resetted sort of battlefield to work with. All right, unique ability number 1. When taking an attack or sidestepping to the left or right, you can nullify your enemy's wide-range special arts attacks. So he has a nullification against AoE green cards, which is perfect. I hate AoE green cards. And when entering the battlefield, unfavorable element factors for damage received will also be nullified, meaning this unique ability has a great defensive capabilities. On top of that, on strike or blast arts hit, your blast arts cards will change to strike arts cards, making it easy for Gogeta to aim for a powerful strike arts combo. Cool. All right, so applies the following effects: self after fusing, restores own ki. Actually, you know what? I want to do the same thing I did with Vegeta. Is I want to just see how much damage he's getting before he fuses. So from the Goku side, 100% damage, 70% damage, 40% strike damage. So he's actually going to be at 210% strike damage from this. And then when he goes into Vegeta, he's getting 40% blast damage, 70% ki recovery, and then a bunch of cost reduction. So when you go into Gogeta, you're going to have card draw speed, 210% to all damage, 70% ki recovery, and then some cost reduction. So he's starting out pretty powerful already. Now let's see what he's getting here. He's getting 100 ki, 30% damage inflicted, nullifies unfavorable element factors for damage sustained for 15 counts. Okay, so that's not the same as Vegeto's, but he's going to be type neutral defensively for 15 counts, which is pretty good still. 15 counts is actually not like insignificant at all. Nullifies attribute downgrades and normal conditions for 50 counts, and then cancels attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions immediately. So if you're affected by anything already when you fuse, you immediately wipe those away. Following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield: restores own ki by 40. Nullifies own unfavorable element factors for damage sustained for 15 counts, activates 3 times. Okay, so it's going to activate once when you first fuse, and then it's going to activate another 3 times. So it's basically forever. I mean, I don't really see, I mean, it kind of is forever. I don't know. I don't really think it's going to matter that much. Like, this guy's yellow, right? Are there going to be any like red characters that are able to deal type advantage against this character almost ever? I would say probably not. Destroys all of your enemies' blast arts cards. That's pretty good against Super 17. Applies the following effects: self when this character uses an arts, randomly draws 1 new card, activates once. Oh, okay. Just draws a card, sure. Restores on health by 10% and ki by 50. Wow. because he's already gaining 40 ki when he enters the battlefield, right? Yeah. And then he's gaining another 50 ki when he uses a card. Okay, sure. Reduces impact damage received by 15% for 5 counts. That's the same thing we saw with the Goku and Vegeta, which seems pretty good. Change his own Blast Arts cards to Strike Arts cards upon landing a Strike or a Blast Arts hit. Okay, so he's going to change his whole hand to strikes pretty much, which activates once. Activation count resets after character switch. The reason why this is good, by the way, is because the reason why it's good that he's not changing them all immediately is because it makes it very easy to what he's going to use. So if, like, for example, this was the big issue with like LF Cooler, is LF Cooler would switch in and then immediately change his whole hand to strikes. So the opponent knew he only had strikes to use, right? So with Gogeta, he's going to be able to do a hit first before he changes his cards to strikes. So you're not really, it's not really as telegraphed, right? So I think that actually is pretty good. Nullifies enemies' wide range special arts attacks while this character is in one of the following states. Yeah, this is the same thing that like transforming Yellow Jiren has. Transformed Red Beast has this as well. Excludes abnormal conditions and special. Okay, yeah, it's fine. Activates once. Yeah, I mean this is a pretty good effect. It's against like like Ultra Gohan, stuff like that. All right, unique ability number 2. Gogeta has the new ability Assault Chain. I have no idea what this is, which can nullify enemy special cover changes and counters if you chain a Strike Arts after a Strike or a Blast Arts. Being able to pull off a combo without worrying about special cover changes or counters is a great feeling, so make sure to try it out. Yeah, you mean you don't like getting auto countered? That makes you feel bad? In a departure from the pre-fusion abilities, Gogeta has a special cover change against Blast Arts. If a Strike, Blast, or Special Move Arts is used when the unique gauge is full, Gogeta also gains the ability to nullify unfavorable element factors, so you'll be able to dish out some serious damage even against enemies with elements you're weak against. All right. Applies the following effects as Strike Arts command. Wait, what? Okay, let's. This is the first time we're ever seeing this, so let's read through this a little bit slower. Applies the following effects to Strike Arts command chained to a Strike or Blast Arts. I'm going to read that again. Applies the following effects to Strike Arts command chained to a Strike or Blast Arts. So if you, okay, so yeah, it's exactly what it was talking about. So if you use a strike card, it's basically saying you have to then like don't charge step, don't sidestep. It's just going to be immediately following that card. So you don't want to charge step or sidestep. You want to actually just chain it in immediately. Nullify enemies' special actions that activate when changing cover. So cover null. And then nullifies enemies' evade or counter actions that activate when receiving an attack. So Ultra Gohan's unique gauge, Janemba's unique gauge, UI Goku's unique gauge, all those are not going to work against this mechanic. This what is this called? The Assault Chain mechanic. Knock enemy back to long range or cover change performed against their Blast Arts attack. So so interestingly, Goku and Vegeta have cover changes against strikes, whereas Gogeta actually has a cover change against blast, which I actually do like that. I think, again, blast cover changes are a lot more valuable in this environment right now. Charges own unique gauge every time this character uses a strike, blast, or special move arts card while they're on the battlefield. Applies the following effects self once unique gauge is full. Wait. Oh, let me read. Yeah, okay, so he charges every time he uses a card. That's the same thing as the pre-fused version. Applies the following effects to self once unique gauge is full. Randomly draws one new card when you have 3 or fewer cards. So he's going to draw a card. And then he's going to heal 10% and get 50 ki. This guy gets a lot of ki. 40 ki when switching in, 50 ki when landing a card, and then another 50 ki when he fills the unique gauge up. That is a lot of ki. Resets on unique gauge to 0 and applies the following effects to self if this character uses a strike, blast, or special move arts when the unique gauge is full. So it's pretty much the same exact effect that the Goku and Vegeta get. 50% damage inflicted for 2 counts, and then nullifies unfavorable element factors. Okay, so actually that's a bit different. He gets offensive type neutrality for like the first card he uses. So I think what you probably want to do on this is you probably just want to line up the unique gauge to be activated with a blue card to increase its damage and have it go type neutral, because that's gonna be the biggest thing for it, right? That's probably gonna be the strategy, I would imagine. Following effects occur if own health is 50% or below when this character is switched to standby. Restores on health by 10%, shortens own sub count by 3, 20% of damage inflicted by allies for 20 counts, and then reduce enemies' Dragon Balls by 1. So, okay, so he is actually supporting. If his health is 50% or lower. Interesting. All right, I mean, there we go. That was Goku and Vegeta from the Broly movie who transform or fuse into Gogeta Blue. Seems also really insane. A lot of similarities between this character. Dude, look how long I'm scrolling for. A lot of similarities between this character and the fusing Vegeta character, but they both seem really, really insane. Not going to really be able to get a full grasp as to how good they actually are until we are able to use them, which is going to be about 4 or 5 hours from now. But that was the transforming Gogeta Blue character. We're going to go ahead and move on to the banner units now, the 1% sparking Supreme Kai and the 1% sparking Fury Broly, and then I'm going to do an overarching master breakdown video sort of highlighting each character's strengths. So hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think of this Gogeta, and I'll see you all in the next one.